When we look back at the story of human evolution, we like to focus on everything we gained. We look at our massive brains, our opposing thumbs, and our ability to speak complex languages as the ultimate victory. But evolution is never free. It operates on a strict system of trade-offs. To get those massive, energy-hungry brains, humans had to sacrifice things. We traded away raw physical power, impenetrable skin, and most importantly, a massive spectrum of sensory perception. We voluntarily went blind, deaf, and numb to the deeper frequencies of the planet, just so we could think in words. But those ancient sensory blueprints didn't completely vanish from our DNA, they were just muted. We live today in a world saturated with digital noise, moving through life with a strange, constant feeling that we are missing something, disconnected from the very earth beneath our feet. To fix that numbness, we have to look at the creatures who never made that trade. We have to look at the superpowers we left behind, and figure out how to reactivate them. Consider the very light that illuminates your world. Humans look around and see a vibrant world of color, but the truth is, we are practically blind. The human eye relies on just 3 types of color-receptive cone cells: red, green, and blue. Every masterpiece painting, every sunset, and every neon light we see is just a cocktail mixed from those 3 basic ingredients. But plunge into the ocean, and you encounter the mantis shrimp. This creature possesses a staggering 16 different types of color-receptive cones. They don't just see the world, they witness a cosmic canvas of ultraviolet light, infrared light, and polarized light that is entirely unimaginable to the human mind. Where we see a dark, murky patch of water, they see a glowing, shifting matrix of hidden frequencies and polarized pathways. We think our visual limits are a fixed reality, but humans actually still possess a vestigial pineal gland, often called the third eye, which remains deeply sensitive to light cycles and biological rhythms. The mantis shrimp is a radical reminder that what we perceive as reality is just a tiny, filtered fraction of what is actually out there. When you feel trapped by a narrow perspective, or when a problem seems to have only 1 or 2 visible outcomes, you are just looking through human eyes. The shrimp teaches us to expand our vision, to accept that there are layers of truth, opportunity, and beauty floating right in front of us that we haven't trained ourselves to see yet. To see those hidden layers, we sometimes have to step out of the light entirely. In our modern world, we panic the moment the lights go out. We rely so heavily on our vision that when we are left in the dark, metaphorically or literally, we feel completely paralyzed. But deep underground, where light has never existed, the star-nosed mole has turned total darkness into an arena of hyper-awareness. It doesn't use eyes to see. It uses 22 fleshy, microscopic tentacles ringing its snout, packed with over 25,000 microscopic touch receptors. This animal can touch its environment and create a flawless, high-resolution, 3-dimensional map of its surroundings in milliseconds, reacting faster than the human eye can blink. It navigates total chaos not by looking at it, but by feeling its way through it. Humans have largely forgotten the power of pure tactile intuition. We analyze, we scrutinize, and we stare at screens trying to map out our futures. Yet, your skin is the largest organ on your body, wired with millions of sensory neurons that can detect a microscopic change in temperature, wind direction, or pressure. When you stop overthinking and let your hands, your gut, and your physical instincts guide you through a dark period of your life, you are activating that star-nosed hyper-awareness. It teaches us that when you can't see the road ahead, you don't stop moving. You change the way you perceive the path. You feel your way forward, step by step, trusting your touch. Once you learn to navigate the dark, you begin to realize that the earth is wrapped in invisible threads that tie everything together. Right now, as you sit here, the planet is wrapped in a massive, silent shield of geomagnetic energy. Humans move through it completely oblivious. But if you look into the skies, you find the loggerhead sea turtle and the homing pigeon. These creatures possess an astonishing superpower called magnetoreception. Deep within their tissues are microscopic crystals of magnetite, acting as a biological compass that allows them to read the Earth's magnetic field like a massive, glowing highway map. A sea turtle can swim across thousands of miles of featureless, pitch-black ocean, and return to the exact square foot of the beach where it was born decades earlier. We look at them in awe, but humans actually still carry traces of magnetite in our own ethmoid bones, right behind our noses. We have a dormant compass buried in our skulls. When you feel a sudden, unexplainable gut instinct to change your direction, or a deep, subconscious pull toward a specific place or environment, you aren't just imagining things. You are tapping into a muted, ancient radar. The turtle teaches us that we are deeply connected to the geography of the Earth. We just have to quiet our analytical minds enough to feel the pull. But navigating the world isn't just about knowing where you are physically. It's about reading the invisible emotional and energetic shifts of the people around you. In our modern, language-obsessed culture, we rely entirely on words to understand each other. Yet, people lie. Words distort reality. To see through the deception, we have to look deep into the murky rivers where the elephant fish swims. This creature lives in complete darkness, yet it navigates and communicates with flawless precision using an active electric field. It generates a weak electrical hum around its entire body, creating a personal radar. When another living thing steps into that field, the fish instantly reads its size, its distance, and even its emotional state. Humans don't generate electric fields quite like the elephant fish, but we do possess an incredibly complex nervous system that projects subtle, electromagnetic frequencies and chemical signals whenever our emotions shift. We call it a vibe, or an aura, dismissing it as pseudoscience. But when you walk into a room and instantly feel tension without anyone saying a word, or when you meet someone and instinctively know they cannot be trusted, that is your biological electric field at work. The elephant fish reminds us that communication is happening on frequencies far below our spoken words. True connection, and true survival, requires us to stop listening to what people say and start reading the energy they project. If reading energy sounds complex, look at the animals that master the frequencies of sound itself. Humans hear within a very narrow, rigid band of audio. We missed out on the entire symphonic world of infrasound low-frequency vibrations that travel through the solid Earth. When a massive storm or an earthquake is brewing hundreds of miles away, the sky sounds silent to us. But to the golden-winged warbler, a tiny bird weighing less than an ounce, the atmosphere screams. These birds can hear the low-frequency rumble of a massive storm system days before it arrives, allowing them to take flight and escape a natural disaster before a single drop of rain hits their nesting grounds. On the flip side, bats use echolocation, throwing high-frequency screams into the night to map out an entire forest in absolute darkness, turning sound into sight. We think we are deaf to these realms, but before the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami struck, local wildlife from elephants to birds fled to higher ground hours before the water hit. The humans stayed on the beaches, completely oblivious, because we have trained ourselves to ignore the vibrations of the Earth. The warbler and the bat teach us that the planet is constantly speaking to us, warning us, and guiding us. Resilience means tuning our awareness back into the subtle shifts in our environment, learning to listen with our entire bodies, not just our ears. But what happens when the environment around you becomes completely chaotic and you lose your footing entirely? When the ground shifts and you feel like you are falling? For that, we look to the mountain goat, a creature that defies gravity itself. The mountain goat can stand on a sheer vertical cliff face, thousands of feet in the air, on a ledge no wider than a human palm. They don't survive up there because they are strong. They survive because of an incredible sensory integration called proprioception, the brain's subconscious awareness of where the body is in space. Their hooves have a hard outer ring and a soft, rubbery center that molds to the microscopic imperfections of the rock, reading the stone like braille. When life forces you onto a metaphorical cliff edge, when you face economic instability, a sudden career shift, or personal crisis, the human instinct is to panic and freeze. But inside your inner ear is the exact same fluid-filled vestibular system that keeps the mountain goat balanced. You are biologically engineered to find your footing, no matter how steep the drop looks. The mountain goat is a living blueprint for psychological balance. It teaches us that stability isn't about finding a flat, safe road. It's about developing the inner awareness to adapt to the uneven, terrifying terrain of life. Trusting your grip, and realizing that you can stand steady even when the world is dropping off right beside you. When you piece all these lost superpowers together, the true scope of human potential becomes staggering. Evolution didn't delete these traits to punish us. It dialed them back so we could focus on building the future. But the blueprint is still there, etched into your nervous system, your bones, and your instincts. You still carry the infinite spectrum of the mantis shrimp, the tactile map of the mole, the magnetic compass of the turtle, the energetic radar of the electric fish, the environmental foresight of the warbler, and the gravity-defying balance of the mountain goat. We have spent centuries trying to engineer our way out of the natural world, using screens and sensors to do what our bodies used to do naturally. But the tech will never match the biological masterpiece inside you. So, the next time you feel numb, disconnected, or lost in the modern matrix, pull your eyes away from the digital world. Take a deep breath. Feel the magnetic pull of the earth. Tune into the silent frequencies of the room. Trust the balance in your step. And remember, you aren't just a mind trapped in a human body. You are a sleeping predator of sensory awareness. It's time to wake the senses up.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share and comment.